I think sometimes people feel like it could be. I could be controversial to say this, but your partner is not your best friend all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like in a sense, they're your best friend, but they're not like your best friend in the sense that, oh, I'm gonna go with you everywhere you go and everything you like to do. I'm gonna. It's just not real. It's just not what really. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
am
I
I
think
wrong?
I think for those couples who say that they're like best friends, it's probably not the fact that they go everywhere together and follow them, going you go over here, I'm going over here too, you going over here. I think it's like being a best friend to me is just like me being able to come to you and talk to you about anything.
Yeah,
Me
yeah,
being able
absolutely.
to just, burp around you and not saying excuse me or
Sure.
fart around you and not saying
Right.
excuse me, and just like that's what best friends are. They just do things together. Like when they're together, it's just kind of like no worries,
No,
you know?
I'm with that. I'm all with that.
But I don't
I'm with
think
that
they like,
context. But some people who are like,
oh,
what I mean is, like, some people feel like if they're looking for somebody, it has to be somebody who wants to do the same things they want to do.
oh
I
no.
hear that a lot.
I
And
mean,
you
surely
know,
I think having things in common help to, you know, bond you, emotionally if you're having some experiences. Like we have a lot of things in common. We enjoy being outdoors. We
yeah,
enjoy hiking. We enjoy. So I think having things in common helps to strengthen the relationship. But it
sure.
doesn't. But like you tinkering on cars. Like I have no desire to tinker on a car. Like
Well, that's what
that's
I'm saying. Like, there's
yeah.
no what I
And I
mean.
like to go out with my girls and into the clubs, and that's not you. But to your point, well, or maybe it's just to my point of self care.
Well, no, I mean, self care is good. I'm just saying, like, to be with somebody realistically,
Yeah.
they're not gonna be your best friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
What do you
in the
mean by that? I need
in
to
the
know what that
context of what
means.
you're saying, I get it. I'm with it.
Okay.
I get it. I'm with that. But as far as like being like people want too much from their relationship is kind of what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like you
they're
want too much.
everything.
You want
I
someone to
see.
be your everything. And
Got
and
you.
there's some relationships that work like that, which is cool. But most relationships I see
Yeah.
is not like that. So
No.
what happens is that when you want that much from your relationship, you end up being like, oh, this person is not for me, and then you might find somebody who you have more in common with, but you hate them. I can't be with you. You freaking annoying me.
I
Yeah,
definitely don't want someone just like
you know what I
me.
mean? Like you could have someone who you could be with a guy who loves to do yoga 24 hours a day, and wants to talk to you about yoga all day, and you're like, I hate you. Get the hell out of here. You're annoying me. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I could have somebody who wants to talk about real estate and cars and, like, get out of here. We don't fit. So you need my point. My point is you need some. I feel like you need some level of contrast along with the. You know what I mean?
Of
Remember that
course.
episode of
Oh,
anybody watch Seinfeld? It's an episode of when
I'm
Jerry.
already gonna start
Remember when
laughing.
Jerry met the woman who was just like him?
Yes.
They made the same jokes, and then after a week, they're like, "I hate you.
I hate you.
This thing is over."
That's
That's what I mean.
probably so true too.
So I mean, that's what I think, but it's just
Oh my.
my opinion.
Well, this world is filled with polarities. I mean, there's black, white. I mean, you can just see the polarities. So there's dark, light. So I think we have that same polarity in us.
And
We
him,
attract
yeah,
we attract the opposite. So
and that's what makes it beautiful.
and that's what makes it so beautiful.
To me, that's what makes it interesting, is because you can gain things from each other. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So your personality and my personality is, we have similarities, but we have a lot of differences where I've gained things from you, and I'm sure you gain things from me.
A
So
hundred and
that's
10%.
what's dope about having a good relationship, is you can have some contrast, versus somebody who, you know, is exactly like you. It's just ridiculous.
Yes,
But
yes,
so
yes,
I say
yes.
all that to say that if you're out there trying to find somebody, don't try to find somebody just like you. It's a little crazy. So,
Nah, you got a
but
vibe.
but
It's
we
all
learn.
about the vibe. Yeah, of course.
So,
That's what life is about. That's why it's so wonderful.
so what else is going on? We still talking about us?
Well, we're talking about us. We're talking about relationships, in general.
Okay. So
I think, yeah, this is our ninth year as a married couple. And honestly, this moment, I feel like we are smooth sailing. I feel comfortable in saying that now. Maybe even last year I could say, but I felt like there was like a little bit for me to work on to get to a place of comfortability, I would say.
Right.
Not in the marriage, but just like within myself in
Yeah.
the marriage.
Right. I got
I
you.
don't know if that makes any sense, but all of that shame that I was feeling feels like it's not really there anymore.
Right.
And then when I do see it sneak up, I check it.
Right.
That's all I do. I check it now, and
Growth,
I'm
man. It's
instead
growth.
of because I think this also happens a lot of times in relationships. People react instead of just responding.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I think
That's me.
that was me too.
That's me.
That
That's
was me too. Just
React.
reacting
Yeah.
without thought, just a reaction.
Just a reaction. Yeah.
You know, so I think it's
Yeah,
important to be
definitely.
mindful of if you know the when you're having that communication,
Yeah.
just to be mindful. Make sure it's a response. You're responding to something
Yeah.
and not
yeah.
just reacting.
Not just
reacting is
and
all
getting mad,
emotional.
like, yeah.
The response actually requires some thought. You know.
Mhm. No, I agree with that.
So
sure.
that's another thing that I've learned within this year. So maybe we should get off of us. We've been talking about
Yeah.
us. I mean, that's what
Enough
this
of us.
episode is
We alright.
about
We gon' be
anyway. I
alright.
mean, it is our anniversary.
Yep.
Anyway,
But
so
we're
why
very-
not
we're very-
talk about
but
us?
we're very proud. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud to have a marriage that's lasted. I mean, some marriages don't last past 2 years, and honestly, um, 2 years is nothing. You know, you really learn nothing. And again, it's not across the board for everybody, but 2 years is really not a lot of time at all.
Right.
So, but I know you want to talk about social media, as far as social media, the impacts of it, or not really, or.
I mean, you can bring it up if you. I mean,
Well,
if we want, if that's
it's
the
not really,
direction that we're
it's not really
going.
a thing in our relationships
You-
per se,
what
but
is that app called? That's what I was gonna look up. Okay,
it's,
so
it's not a.
not,
yeah.
it's not. It's
not a
definitely
thing
not
for
a
us.
thing for us.
I mean, it means nothing, but I do think it is a big thing for relationships and companionship now. I mean, it is almost everything.
Absolutely.
So, you know, mad people are cheating and doing all kind of stuff on social media because, you know, you can immediately make connections with people. People comparing their relationships on social media and all kind of stuff. So, you know, it can be a positive thing to just celebrate your stuff, but it also could be very negative too. You know what I mean? So
And this is where I wish I would have my niece on the
yeah,
on the
this would be a
podcast
great time
because
to
she's
talk
a millennial.
talk to the millennials. But
Yes.
we'll definitely do that on another episode.
We'll
But,
do that on another episode because I know she would have a lot to say about how, well, even just based on our conversations,
yeah,
how social media, because you know, it's this whole thing of not following or blocking, you know, in relationships. That's going on now. Like when you block someone, like and you're in a relationship, that like means like you're done. Like
oh okay,
and then you'll unblock or then you'll follow and then unfollow, and then there's the whole reading a message but not responding,
right,
left
right.
on red. And then there's the
This
whole.
this is people in relationships.
This
or?
is in relationship. This
Yeah.
is what's happening now. This didn't
Yeah.
happen in our time. Social media
Well, you know,
was just
when
kind
people
of
holler at
kicking off
people, they're
around
like, "Let
us.
me get your gram." So they don't really do. No
Right.
one does phone numbers. They do the gram. You know.
Right.
But
And then there's the location thing. People want, because this was just on another radio show that I listened to, The Breakfast Club.
Mhm.
He was talking about, you know, do you give your partner your location?
Oh, okay.
Now, there is a location app. It's called 365 Location. I'm pretty sure there are some other location apps where you can like
Right.
follow whoever.
Locations, yeah.
So, I mean, what the general census is like if you're in a serious relationship
Mhm.
And it's important to give the location because you never know. This world is crazy. It's important
Right.
for your partner to know
Right.
where you are.
Right.
But some people are using the location to also, I mean, it's basically you're not trusting the person. So if they're
Yeah.
not where they were,
Right.
and then they're going to be like, well, where were you?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like, I don't know. Location. Now, for us, how we do that is I'm like, babe, I'm going to the store.
Right.
Or, babe, I'm going
Right.
to Asbury Beach.
Right.
You know, and I just let you know where I'm at.
Right.
But now people are like downloading apps and
Well, because
wanting
you
to
know you
know
have
the
technology,
location.
you have technology, and people don't trust each other. Um, but it's a cold game. Listen, it's a cold game. Like we're not in the streets, you know what I mean? But in the streets, it's a cold. At least from my observation,
Yeah.
it's a cold game out here, and people are really like on some, you know,
hot.
people aren't necessarily giving their all to somebody in that sense. It's very hard because everything's like people are interchangeable. Replace this person, found the next person. Still, you know, entertaining another person while talking to this person. It's just
I'm just wondering,
it's-
what is it about?
what about?
Like, what is this about? Like, are we trying to establish a connection? Are we trying to?
I don't think people are
we
trying to.
trying
No, I don't think so.
to have
I don't think so.
have a long term relationship?
I don't think so.
So it's not about that right now. People aren't looking for relationships.
I think some people are, but I think that we don't have a society that's based on putting the time
something
into that.
stopped. Oh, that one stopped. What does it say? Oh, I don't know what that was. It had a message on it.
Oh, good. No worries.
All
I
right.
can.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, anyway,
It's still recording.
we don't have a situation where people are going to put in that time. So that level of putting in time to like really meet somebody. A lot of like I was watching this other podcast. I won't name it right now, but they were talking about how there's this woman who she was going to go out on a date with somebody. I think I don't know if she met him on a dating app or whatever maybe, but she gave him a questionnaire before they before they went out. It was like a 13 questionnaire or whatever with certain questions.
Yeah.
And basically the guy was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm
Oh,
straight."
with all the questions.
Yeah, I don't want. We don't have to go out. But she wanted him to answer these
I
questions.
wonder what the questions were.
I don't know all what the questions were, but it's like
Was
people.
it something superficial?
Yeah, I mean, some of it probably was, but people aren't trying to get to know. People aren't doing the get to know you thing.
Just getting to
people
know
don't have
you.
the patience for that. They don't have the patience for that.
Yes.
So a lot of it is like, well, what would you do if? I think one of the questions was like, what would you do if I had a kid already and he was gay, or
Okay.
where would you take me out?
Okay.
It was just certain things where you're trying to figure out the person without. You're trying to get to know somebody without getting to know somebody.
Here's what we got to do, everybody. Sit down and just have a talk. Just sit down and have a talk. Like, you don't have to have your list of 21 questions, but just try to, in general, just have a conversation about, like, what are some things that you like to do? What do you like to do in your leisure time?
But you're not
know?
going to figure that out.
No, you're not going to figure
You're
that
not
out
gonna
during that
figure that out.
conversation, for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. I agree with you, but the problem is you're not going to figure that out right away.
No.
You're gonna, you know what it
Yeah.
is? I'll use one word. I could actually use this word and just drop this mic right now if I want to drop it.
I love the confidence.
Judgment. You gotta have judgment. Ladies, you have to have judgment. Especially and men too. Men too. You gotta have good judgment. That's what's gonna save you or at least keep you somewhere in a good ballpark of without the craziness.
Right.
You're never guaranteed. You can never control what someone else is gonna do.
Yeah.
But you have to have some level of judgment. Without
Yeah.
judgment, good luck. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
People are trying to like save themselves from their bad judgment. Oh, I'm gonna send them a questionnaire. You think that's gonna help? People cheat on tests. People gonna write down what you want to hear. I don't know, but
That's true.
you're
They
gonna have to
could
have
just
some
say
judgment.
what you want to hear.
So that's my opinion.
Wow. Okay. I had no idea that's what was going on
It's
out
crazy.
there. Like
It's
the
crazy.
whole list of questions.
It's crazy. Yep.
As I was saying, I think the best way to approach dating right now instead of being on the apps, because it's just so hard to read a person on the apps. It's just so hard to see what the intentions are. Besides just having a telephone conversation, I mean you might pull something out of that conversation.
Telephone
Oh my gosh,
conversation.
yeah.
They
Do
don't do
people
that no
talk
more.
on the telephone?
I don't think they do. I don't
Why
know.
do I call it the telephone?
We're disconnected, babe. We're disconnected.
Why can't I say cell phone?
You ain't been in the
I said the
streets.
telephone.
You ain't been in the streets in a long time. Call me on my landline. Call me on my cordless landline with the hanger for the antenna.
Anyways,
So you were saying
I was saying instead of being on the apps, of course you can pull, get some energy from from a conversation.
you're so
I'm not even
optimistic.
Yes.
I love it.
I am. Because I think it's as
So you
simple
were
as
saying
that.
they
I
should
think people
join-
are making it too
join pottery
complicated.
group, hiking group.
Just join the groups. There are
What
groups
if
all
what
over
if the people in those
Facebook.
groups what if the people in those groups are ugly?
You got to look beyond,
No, people ain't trying to do that. That's
and you
why-
got to see a
that's
little
why
bit
they
of the inside.
Swipe right.
I mean, just see what the inside might. I know there has to be an attraction there initially, but maybe it starts with the conversation. Maybe y'all all in the same group and everybody's getting along. You're like,
You know
oh my
I'm giving
God,
you
this
the
guy is so
You know I'm giving you
funny.
the twisted lip, right?
Why? It's
Because
that
if
simple.
that was you right now, you went on the hiking trip, you would like.
If I went on a hiking
you
trip?
went on the hiking group. I could see you calling your girlfriends like, "Yeah, girl, I've been going on this hiking thing with all the guys in there. Ain't no good looking guys in there. It's a nice group, but I ain't gonna find nothing in there."
I don't judge a book by its cover. I just
Yeah.
don't.
All right, that's cool. I mean,
I don't judge. I mean, I see, of course, the physicality.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the conversation is good and we have a lot of good interest, then I can look beyond that. I'm not just gonna first see the physicality and be like, "Oh,
That
you
might
ain't even got a chance."
that might be you,
No.
babe. But that might be you.
But
and I don't
when
doubt
you're
you,
in a
but-
group, is what I'm saying. When you're in a group, you talk to other people in the group and you have conversations
No, I think
with people in the
I agree.
group.
I think it's
I mean,
good.
it could
it's
be a
good
knitting
advice.
group. Maybe join a knitting group. Everybody wants to learn to knit.
No,
I
I
do.
talking about knit. No. Now we're teetering into bad advice, but that's not.
That's
gonna
not
work.
bad.
That's not going to work.
I don't know how many hot men are going to be in that knitting group,
Yeah,
ladies.
nah,
But
nah, come on now, you're a disconnected married woman. That's the problem.
Okay, maybe
You're
not a knitting
disconnected.
group. Join the gym. I don't know. No,
The gym-
no.
The gym is where all the thirst, the thirst trappings.
Never mind.
Have you
Never
seen
mind.
the
Never
Instagram
mind.
posts for the gyms? Oh my
The
god!
gym.
Now it's
the
the women's
gym
fault.
scene is so crazy.
It's the women's
They
fault.
doing a lot of crazy
The women are
thing in
doing
the-
too much in the gym. Oh my
The women
God.
are doing a lot in
I
the
see people
gym.
in the gym. Oh my God. Not the gym. I don't go. Not me. But I'm saying online.
Online, yeah.
Oh my God. The women are doing way too much. They got the tightest little booty shorts on, and they're doing the.
Well, that's for the
booty-
gram.
And, I mean, it's
That's
for the
always
gram,
for the
but it's
gram.
also for the attention too. And yeah. So I digress, but the gym is wild. now.
Okay, so maybe not the gym, but I would probably say something a little bit more social. The gym, you're kind of like individualistic anyway, and
Well, I think
it's like
babe,
focusing on the individual.
I think the issue now is that the world is actually a little bit less social, like physically.
Yeah.
Less social.
Well,
You know what
because
I'm
of
saying?
social media,
People-
it
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
pulls us away from actually
Yes.
being social.
Right.
I mean, I
So-
know social media is supposed to pull us together and like be more social, but it's doing the opposite.
Well, yeah, because it makes it
should
harder
be
for
antisocial
people to,
media.
Well, I think because what people are doing is they're like, they are trying to date, and I ain't mad at it. It is what it is. They're trying to date in a more faster type of way, in the sense they're trying to like figure the person out quickly.